Hello and welcome back, everyone, to the Winners Finals for the Season 3 Invitational of the Eternal Tournament Series. I am, of course, Bairdrus, and I am once again joined by my wonderful co-host, LightsOutAce, and boy, do we have a matchup to bring you all today. We got two of our best players in the tournament, 4-0, undefeated up into this point. One of them will have to leave, unfortunately, to the losers bracket to play off against a Love Up, who we just saw take that down. And one of these players will be advancing to the Grand Finals. Of course, the two players we are speaking of are Angry Chicken on Big Combry, the tournament favorite, and Visarius on Burn Queen, kind of the dark horse of the tournament, bringing Burn Queen and doing very, very well with it.
Yeah, I mean, it's really been the story of this tournament. Like, people playing the publicly acknowledged best deck of Big Combray versus people aiming to beat it with stuff like TJP Midrange and Burn Queen. But, like, this is kind of the culmination of it, right? We're at the finals. We got Visarius, who's been burning down the house, against the Angry Chicken on a mission. And we'll see who can accomplish their goal here.
Yeah, we will see who can accomplish their goal indeed. As I said, one of these players, only one, can leave here as the grand finalist. The other one will have to play another best of 5 series, which brings us to our other point. These are all best of 5 matches now, which means the games are a little bit longer. Your pre-board games are twice as many, and you have extra chances. So we'll see if this series is a quick 3-0 cleanup for one of these two fantastic players, or if we're going to get a full 5-game set here, which is obviously what I, and I assume all of our viewers out there, are hoping for.
Yeah, I mean, unless they're a particular fan of one of these players, then they probably want their hero to win.
Yeah, and you know, I am a slight fan of Angry Chicken. He has been running quite hot, but I gotta say, I am very impressed with Visarius bringing in this Burn Queen deck, and as you said, burning down the house. So let's see if he can bring it home here as we are about to jump into our matchup in just a few moments. Players are just waiting to add each other and queue up. And we are actually already in. My apologies.
Oh yeah, we got the turn 1 Oni Ronin, the classic. Visarius actually has to make an interesting choice now with this diplomatic seal, whether he wants to go for fire to guarantee a pump on the champion, or if he wants to go for a shadow and see if he can draw a third shadow.
Yeah, this is going to be a bit of a tricky situation here for Visarius, although
I'm inclined to go for shadow, since the deadly is much more important against Combray.
Yeah, deadly is important for Combray since you're not likely to be knocking over Sandstorm Titan with the Champion of Chaos otherwise, or some of these nastier threats like Seraph. Turn 3 Seraph, very important in this matchup here. It's going to stonewall Visarius for the time being, and he's going to be reliant on this Champion of Chaos to push through that, though if Angry Chicken has a Sandstorm Titan to reload with, Visarius is going to be at odds for quite a little bit here. He's definitely going to need to build to that Obliterate. Angry Chicken.
Yeah, I'm super surprised that he went for the fire there. Like, that punishes him twofold here. Like, one, he's not going to be able to get Deadly on this champion now, and Deadly is so much better than Overwhelm. And two, he has to play Shadow here so he can play the Impending Doom, and the Champion of Chaos gets neither boost and can't attack at all.
Yeah, and Angry Chicken here holding back for power. I guess in a way this is actually a punish of Angry Chicken as well, so maybe well navigated by Visarius in the end. Angry Chicken very clearly holding up what we can only assume is a Scorpion Wasp to try and catch that Champion of Chaos, assuming it would get the activation there. So Angry Chicken essentially wasted his entire 4th turn, which does allow Visarius to establish this to the board. And wow, Angry Chicken powering down completely is going to leave room for this Obliterate to come in and clean up, and a massive board swing. This is going to be 14 damage, 16 with the Obliterate in 1 turn.
I mean, I can only imagine this gets harsh ruled now, but then Visarius is just one top deck burn spell away from winning the game.
Yeah, absolutely. Angry Chicken does, in fact, drop his harsh rule here, cleans up the board. But yes, Visarius only needs to find, a power, and, well, Obliterate's fantastic here. With this champion, assuming it can get past whatever Angry Chicken can establish as a threat this turn. Scorpion Wasp, for example, isn't going to be good enough here. He needs a big beater that can get in the way of this, like a Sandstorm Titan. Otherwise, we are going to see an extremely quick game one out of Visarius.
Temple Scribe doesn't quite do it, as there is Overwhelm, but Knight Chancellor Seraph will do the job of blocking this.
Yes, it will do the job of blocking for the time being, although Visari is very much considering what he wants to do here. There is a line where he can just take this Obliterate and point it at the Seraph, and that is, in fact, where he is looking to aim it. Going to aim that there, get 2 damage in, and then force in with this Champion of Chaos, basically daring Angry Chicken to just try and block this down. Although with Desert Marshal coming out for the silence, we're going to clean this board up, and all of a sudden, Angry Chicken has a chance to stabilize.
Yeah, the downside of that line from Visarius, obliterating the Seraph, is that now Torch isn't lethal. If he had obliterated Face and just traded for the Champion of Chaos of the Seraph, Torch would be a lethal draw now.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, and Rapid Shot picked up by Visarius, a dead draw for the time being, and Angry Chicken without worrying too much about the Cabal Countess due to the Great Parliament is just going to start beating down on his own. And with the Sandstorm Titan, this is just lethal staring him down on the way back. And Visarius needs to rip something big here, and a Diplomatic Seal is not going to be it. So Visarius losing the trade here. Angry Chicken picking up game one in very clean fashion with a good turnaround there towards the late game.
Yeah, geez, just picks it up by the skin of his teeth. So there's no sideboarding now between games 1 and 2 in these best of 5. So we're just going to jump right back into it.
Yeah, we're going to jump right back into the players facing off against each other. Going to be their basic decks, and we will see how they fare in game 2. Just waiting on Angry Chicken to accept the invite.
I think they're
both challenging each other.
If you challenge at the same time, neither player can accept.
Okay, yeah. So just gonna have Visarius waiting for the challenge in the meantime. But I mean, yeah, what a game one, man! Like I think I agree with you too, though. I think the Obliterate on the Seraph line makes you very weak to white a few things. And yeah, it wasn't fully realized. I think you actually were kind of hoping to trade the champion there if you absolutely had to, or just bank it for the Rapid Shot and wait it out. And I mean, we did see Rapid Shot come off the top, so obviously it's easy for me to say that in hindsight. But you definitely knew Angry Chicken was holding some sort of ambush, since he had already made a play on turn 4 where he passed his turn 4 entirely. Ooh, and Visarius with a very awkward hand to start here. Triple Diplomatic Seal and no units to be found.
Yeah, a couple of quarries, but like we were saying way earlier today when we last saw Visarius, playing quarry instead of a traditional 2-drop means that your opening draws are going to be a little bit slower because you're not impacting the board at all on turn 2.
Yeah, and a tough choice actually here for Visarius, either picking up a way to win the game and possibly remove some units, or just picking up some hard removal there. Does elect to take the more open-ended card and Obliterate, and uses another quarry and just finds more power, so not where he wants to be at all right now.
Yeah, I like taking the Obliterate because it kills basically the same things that Annihilate does, but with a little bit of extra functionality of can aim at face or do a little bit of overwhelm damage.
Yeah, certainly. And I mean, at 28 health, Angry Chicken is very out of burn range for quite a while, but Visarius holding only a handful of burn may eventually have to start looking towards pointing some of that to the face. In the meantime, though, I mean, Angry Chicken has built a quite threatening board. Yeah, we're going to have to see this Obliterate uses removal, and this is not something you often see or want to see as the Stone Scar player, having to be the defensive player, especially against a deck like Big Combry that has a much higher ceiling than you do.
Yes, it's funny that from the Combray side, when your Sandstorm Titan gets obliterated, you're actually kind of happy.
Yeah, absolutely. When that Obliterate isn't aiming towards your face, you are generally pretty happy with it. And we do see double torches taking care of the Sandstorm Titan, which is putting Angry Chicken at a very big card advantage, although Angry Chicken still has not found a 5th power, and that has not made him have the easiest plays in the world. Visarius now has this Cabal Countess that he's going to have a chance to start attacking with, although he picks up another Varus favor that's just not doing a lot here.
Kind of got a build your own torch in his hand here.
Yeah, really though. He has the build your own torch. Yeah, it's six power instead of 1, a little worse, but you do gain 3 health back, so trade-offs. And 3 power. So it's not the end of the world. He's probably honestly just going to start using these Varus favors to thin his deck. But in the meantime, I mean, he is taking such a beat down. Angry Chicken not even needing to find power in the meantime. He is just enjoying the beats.
He finds a good target for one of those favors in that Temple Scribe. That'll let him push for 6 here, but it looks like Angry Chicken has a Desert Marshal to shut even that down.
Yeah, and that's going to take care of this Cabal Countess. And I mean, I find it very hard to believe that Visarius can win this game at this point. I mean, he even goes for the settings like he's going to concede. I mean, he's already down to 9. He's going to wait and see a draw step, but
yeah, this is just one of those downfalls of the Stone Scar deck. Like, if it draws like 5 to 7 power, it's unbeatable. But if you draw any more or any less than that, you just have such a hard time winning the game.
Yeah, and I mean, when you don't find units, it's even worse. Like, never having anything he could actually establish on the board. I mean, his opponent stumbled on power for 3 or 4 turns, but it just never actually caught up with him since he was never actually threatening his opponent in the slightest. In fact, his opponent was threatening him down. So Angry Chicken taking 2 very, very fast games, putting himself up 2-0 in the series going into the sideboard.
Yeah, it really makes you wonder which is the anti-deck here. Maybe Cumbre is what beats Burn Queen.
Yeah, maybe it does indeed. I mean, Cumbre definitely can bully out the Burn Queen deck, but you'd assume that it would be a little closer than that, 20 health to 0 in the end there. Angry Chicken gonna take a look at his sideboard, probably throw in some Awakened Students, some Protects, possibly a Scorpion Wasp or 2, and some Healer's Cloaks. And honestly, some Reality Wardens. I mean, his side is looking great for this matchup. He's got a ton of cards that are super useful. And on the other hand, Visarius has Sabotages and Annihilates, both pretty useful cards. Dark Return as well. But nothing incredibly overpowering here that really swings the matchup in his favor in a huge way.
Yeah, I don't think that either player really has any like sideboard bullets for this matchup, besides those 2 Healers Cloaks from Angry Chicken. Like, it's basically just going to be the same as the last couple of games with slight upgrades.
Yeah, although Visarius with a much cleaner start here, at least it's going to have this Argenport Instigator. If you can find one more power and get this Bandit Queen off, I mean, Angry Chicken is taking the first few turns a little bit slow, although he is fixing his whole power base up, so that's very convenient for him. We're going to see Visarius go ahead and grab a fire here, undoubtedly, so he can cast his Flame Blast in the coming turns.
He keeps going for triple fire instead of triple shadow, and I really would prefer to do it the other way around.
When in this case without Champion of Chaos, I think it's much smarter actually to take the triple fire, because you would much rather play Flame Blast or have a chance to play Flame Blast than have your Champion of Chaos have the slightly better stat line or a slightly better keyword. Flame Blast is going to be huge in this matchup, but Visarius is off to a very quick beatdown. Angry Chicken's going to need something big here. Probably has a Sandstorm Titan to follow up, but this Rapid Shot is going to have something to say about it.
Yeah, Burn Queen living up to its name here, except it's going to be Queen into Burn, and I think that the game is going to be over in another turn or 2 here. Yeah, double Obliterate. There's just no way that Angry Chicken is stopping this.
I mean, 12 damage coming through right here. Angry Chicken's going to have to sacrifice a unit to one of these 2, to one of these. So he goes down to only 6, but any power picked up here is now lethal, assuming Angry Chicken doesn't have a Protect, and that's not even to mention that you still have to clean the board up. Harsh Rule's a start.
Visarius has to miss on power until Angry Chicken can get multiple Cumbre Healers and Protects.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, and with Cabal Countess picked up, this is going to be really dirty for him. Angry Chicken's going to... Okay, he finds Temple Scribe. That's... Unfortunately, he's not at 6, so he would have gone to 7. He's at 5, so he goes to 6, which is not really where you want to be. Cabal Countess...
Yeah, I really like torching the 1/1, then playing Countess, and if you don't draw power, you can just ultimate the Countess and force Angry Chicken to chump with the Sandstone Titan.
Yeah, absolutely. This is going to be quite nice for him if he doesn't find the power, or he can just find Annihilate and clean the game up right here with an attack and a Rapid Shot. So that will also do it. Visarius taking game 3 in blazing fast fashion. So responding to those 2 defeats by pulling off a victory of his own to bring the series 1-2, still in Angry Chicken's favor.
Yeah, Burn Queen is just such a volatile deck. Like when it draws well, it's unbeatable. When it draws poorly, like in game 2, it just doesn't do anything.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to see, players are still comfortable with their sideboards. They've figured these plans out at this point. I'm sure both of them. Angry Chicken probably has played this matchup a little less, but I'm positive Visarius has played this matchup more than once in this tournament.
Well, I think Angry Chicken has probably played on ladder before, so I think he's very familiar with the Stone Scar Burn matchup.
Yeah, certainly. Visarius with a bit of an awkward hand. Would have liked to have played Oni Ronin on 1, so we'll see if that ends up mattering. Also going to be lacking on power here. Definitely needs to hit a 3rd power by next turn, or Angry Chicken may just be able to outscale him very, very quickly. And does find a power. That's huge here. Curious to see if he's going to go with the champion, or if he'll go ahead and try and ambush in the Cabal Countess.
Saving the Countess for both after a harsh rule and when you can ultimate it to force chump blocks with valuable units. So I like this play of champion over the Cabal Countess here by Visarius.
Yeah, very true. Valkyrie Enforcer does shut down your game plan right here a little bit, which would be unfortunate. So we'll see if Angry Chicken has a Valkyrie Enforcer, and he does indeed. So this does make your game plan a little bit awkward. Oni Ronin's no longer very good to attack in with, although picking up Annihilate here, not bad. Allows you to force in 5 damage and pick up another Warcry. That might be the line you're looking for, although Annihilate has so many prime targets in the deck.
Yeah, without access to 5 power for these Obliterates, I think you save the Annihilate to answer a Sandstorm Titan. Just trade 3 drops here, play your Cabal Countess. I think that's fine.
Yeah, I think that is fair as well. We'll see if Angry Chicken has a Desert Marshal on his turn to respond to the Cabal Countess. We'll see if he has a 4th power even.
Both players stuck on 3, it looks like.
Ooh, then that does not favor him in the slightest. Although, double attack in here. This is a little awkward. I feel like, I was about to say, I feel like Visarius or Angry Chicken is comfortable taking the 2 extra damage to take care of the Oni Ronin when he can just follow up, kill the Cabal Countess on the following turn. He probably also has a Desert Marshal hanging out in hand, and now that he's found 4 power, I'm sure a Sandstorm Titan is brewing. Oh, or another Seraph. That works as well.
Ooh, very, very crucial 4th power for Visarius. So I think that's impending doom time.
Yeah, this probably is impending doom time. I don't think the ability is where you want to be here, since you'll just still get the Seraph to double block you down. But you're comfortable trading the Cabal Countess for at least one of the Seraphs and then following up with an impending doom. If your opponent does have a Sandstorm Titan at this point to follow up with, though, this is going to shut you down just a little bit until you can find that 5th power. Sorry, Annihilate's still in hand. Of course, he decided not to burn that.
So I think if Visarius draws a power here, he just sends Obliterate to the face. He has like nearly lethal burn in hand.
Yeah, it really does. And picking up that 5/5 Argenport Instigator is just another very scary threat. Although Reality Warden is going to come down and put a bit of a damper on his plans. We're going to see this Vara's Favor probably connect with the face to draw the 5th power here. Going to be important for him in this matchup. There's also
stall long enough. He now is 1 off lethal in hand. So if a unit trades or if Visarius picks up another power, this game is going to be over in 3 turns time.
Yeah, definitely. Although Angry Chicken certainly has, he does have a couple outs here and there. Ooh, Healer's Cloak is a huge one. Yeah, 9/9 Reality Warden now, and that really does set Visarius back quite a bit. Now he needs to pick up an entirely a whole nother burn spell. He needs either a 3rd Obliterate or a 2nd Flame Blast, and probably a 2nd Flame Blast, truthfully.
Yeah, that Healer's Cloak was just a burn spell and a half there.
Yeah, it really did put in a lot of work there, and even still, I mean, the 9/9 Reality Warden truthfully does create, a 3-turn clock here for Angry Chicken. He eventually, once he can find another threat, will probably just start beating down Visarius, and it's going to be Visarius is going to be hard pressed to answer this Reality Warden. It's a good start there.
Obliterate a Seraph. That does 3 less face damage, but does take out a Seraph. However, Angry Chicken has been missing on power and isn't anywhere near activating that Stirref yet, so I'm not really sure what the thinking is there.
Oh, second Reality Warden just shuts this down completely. Like even if Visarius wants to attack in here and try and get the blowout with the rapid shot, it's too easy for Angry Chicken not to block and to still get a trade here. We're probably going to see his rapid shot used defensively, actually.
Yeah, and Combray can't stop combat tricks like this, so they will trade. But now Visarius is going to be down to 6 health.
Yeah, he's down to lethal with just
5.
Reality Warden in play. I mean, it is possible Visarius can stay alive with the Obliterate and Flame Blast for 1. That will provide just enough damage, but it's not looking great. Annihilate has to be used here, and then depending on your draw, you're going to have to use Obliterate and Flame Blast, which puts Angry Chicken on a lot of outs here.
Oh, geez, yeah. A 7th power would have been a lot better, because then you could just kill it with just a Flame Blast, but...
Yeah, now you have to use 2 burn spells together, and this is a very, very tough situation for Visarius to be in. He's dropped so much burn, and Angry Chicken is still holding 4 cards in hand. Even something like a Temple Scribe to a degree is threatening, since it does provide at least a clock here, and with the Owl coming down, it's even more threatening, and Visarius just picking up all his burn.
He's spent more than 30 points of burn just on Angry Chicken's units this game.
Yeah, and I mean he's just had to at this point, unfortunately. And this is what I was talking about the Temple Scribe. Like even the Temple Scribe beating for 1 damage is still a 5-turn clock.
So much health gain from Angry Chicken.
Yeah, this is absolutely disgusting here. I mean, Visarius can drop Impending Doom into play, but then he goes to 3 and he's just dead on board unless he Flame Blasts the Temple Scribe, which just feels terrible. I mean, he's still just yeah. I mean, he's still just dead anyway, though. You know, if you attack in with both of the Combray healers here and you set him to 1, you essentially make him kill his own unit. I don't. Oh, wait. What? Why would you not attack his Angry Chicken there?
I don't know. He just knows that he's gonna win anyways. I guess he just wants to extend Visarius' suffering. Really send him a message, because they might have to play again in grand finals. So you want to mentally defeat your opponent too.
Yeah, that is true. Angry Chicken taking it down 3-1 in very impressive fashion. Outside of the third game, those were very, very dominating performances out of him. And Angry Chicken will advance as your grand finalist out of the winner's bracket. So he's going to have the winner's bracket advantage going into grand finals. And Visarius drops down, unfortunately, to play Love Up in the TJP versus Stone Scar, or Burn Queen, rather, matchup for your losers finals, which we will be bringing everybody in just a few moments. So do not go anywhere, everybody. We will be back in just a minute with that.